like City today will be very, very happy. I mean, they've had the toughest fixture by a mile, and actually, you look at the sort of fact they've got no Rodri and they've got the bench full of players who have only come back in midweek. It should have been maybe harder for them today, but they're very, very experienced, this City team, and sort of 2-3 months away from them, you sort of forget how good they are, and the fact that they've got a great squad. You know, they've lost Gundogan, Mahrez, Alvarez, and you think, oh, maybe they're deteriorating, there's a bit of decay, they're ageing a little bit, and all of a sudden they just remind you of what they are, which is an excellent team.
And perhaps we mentioned this towards the end of the game, maybe the key thing around last weekend at Wembley and here is that they immediately answer that question, which people naturally ask around hunger, around incentive, around whether they are prepared to go and do it all over again. And clearly they are.
Yeah, I mean, the two things in the last 20 minutes that were real standout was their ability to control and manage the game, but that's something that they do, so it didn't surprise us. But the work ethic of Doku and Foden, I always think if you've got a top side, I thought Nico Williams and Yamal in the tournament for Spain, we all talked about how exciting they were going forward, but if you watch how quickly when the team lost the ball, they got back in and attached themselves to their defensive players, the fullbacks and the midfield players, I always think that's the sign of a really top side. Now, that's because you're watching some of the best players in the world do the ugly part of the game, and we shouldn't take that for granted, because there's quite often teams and players who think that they shouldn't be doing that part of the game, that they're too good and they swan around a little bit. But you watch Foden and Doku, and you watch the boy Savinho in the first half, you watch De Bruyne sprinting back at 2-0 with I think 91 minutes on the clock. These are some of the best players in Europe and the world, and they're doing that part of the game, and that's the thing that I always look for in a top team. And you look at Manchester City, they don't lose their hunger, we can't question them for that. It's the least they should give, but still it's impressive year on year. They've climbed that mountain now the last 4 seasons, and they've not got to the top of that mountain and gone, we've done it. They've got to the top of the mountain, they've got but down in the summit, and then they're ready to climb back up it again, and it's something that's admirable. You know, I thought last season, off the back of a treble, it would be one season too many for them, particularly with Arsenal's progression. But Arsenal watching that this afternoon will recognise, if they didn't already, of course, they would have done, that they've got a hell of a fight on again.